Welcome to my channel, Crochet for Baby. Thanks for watching. In today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how to crochet this little cardigan sweater, coat, or jacket for girls between 4 and 6 years old. Now, many of you have been asking me to crochet bigger sizes, so here's one more of my designs and I hope you like it. Now, like I said, the one we're going to make in the tutorial is for little girls between 4 and 6 years old, but you can easily make it smaller or bigger from 1 to 2 years old and up to 10 to 12 years old. Down here in the information box, I'm going to leave some information on how you can make it smaller or bigger, so be sure to check that out. Now, if you prefer a written pattern and would like to support my channel, I'll leave the link to my Etsy shop down here in the information box as well. Let's get started, but first don't forget, I always leave the finished measurements at the end of the tutorial. Also, all of my tutorials are always in English and in Spanish. Also, don't forget to subscribe, share my tutorials, and if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Thanks for watching. Okay, to make this little sweater, I'll be using this 5mm crochet hook. This is an H hook, and today I'll be using this number 4 yarn. You can also use any aran weight or 10-ply yarn. Now, here to begin, I have a total of 69 chains. This chain here is measuring about 17 inches, which is about 43 centimeters. Now, if your chain is off by 1 or 2 centimeters, it's okay. Just continue. So here, to begin, like I said, I have 69 chains. On the third chain from the hook, 1, 2, 3, I'm going to make a double crochet. Now, these 2 chains here never count as a stitch. They're just there so that when we finish the yoke, there's a nice straight line here. Now, this is going to be the front panel, so in total, I'm going to make 9 double crochets. I already have 1, so into the next chain, make a double crochet. That's 2. Into the next, that's 3. Nine double crochets. Here's the front panel. Now we're going to make the first corner, so chain 1, and into the next chain make a double crochet. Now here I'm going to make the sleeves, so I'm going to make a total of 15 double crochets for the sleeve. So into the next, make a double crochet. That's 2, and into the next a double crochet, and so on until you have 15 double crochets. I'll meet you once we have these 15 double crochets to show you what we need to do next. I finished making these 15 double crochets. This here again is going to be for one of the sleeves. Now we're going to make the second corner, so chain 1, and into the next chain here make a double crochet. Now this next section here is going to be for the back side, and for the back side I'm going to make a total of 19 double crochets. So here I have 2. Now into the next chain, same thing. So continue, make these 19 double crochets, and I'll meet you back to show you what we need to do next. I finished making these 19 double crochets. This is for the back side. Now we're going to make the third corner, so chain 1, and into the next chain here make a double crochet. Now this next section here is going to be for the other sleeve, so we're going to make a total of 15 double crochets. Continue, and I'll meet you back to show you what we need to do next. I finished making these 15 double crochets. Again, this here is for the sleeves. Now we're going to make our fourth corner, so chain 1, and into the next chain here make a double crochet. Here we're going to finish with these 9 double crochets, which is going to be for the second front panel. So continue, finish this first row, and I'll meet you at the end. I'm here at the end of this first row. I have a total of 67 double crochets. In this row, we have divided the front panels, the sleeves, and the back side. For each one of the front panels, you should have 9 double crochets. For each one of the sleeves, you should have 15 double crochets. And then for the back side, you should have 19 double crochets. Now, for the second row, we're going to chain 2 and turn. Remember, the 2 chains never count as a stitch. Now in this row, what I'm going to do is into these first 2 double crochets, I'm going to make 1 double crochet on each one. So beginning on top of the first one, I already did a double crochet. On top of the second one, make a double crochet. Now here we're going to chain one, skip this next double crochet, and into the next double crochet make a double crochet, chain one, skip one double crochet, and into the next make a double crochet, chain one, skip one double crochet, and into the next make a double crochet, chain one. Now here I have my last double crochet. I'm going to skip this double crochet, and inside this chain one space of the first corner I'm going to make a fan. Now each corner is going to be worked in the exact same way. You're just going to make 2 double crochets, chain one, 2 double crochets. Now chain one, skip the first double crochet for this next section, which is the sleeve, and into the second double crochet here make a double crochet, chain one, skip one double crochet, and into the next make a double crochet, chain one, skip one, and into the next double crochet, chain one, skip one, and into the next double crochet, chain one, skip one, and into the next double crochet, chain one, skip one, and into the next double crochet, chain one, skip one, and into the next double crochet, chain one. Now here I have my last double crochet for this section. I'm going to skip this double crochet, and inside this second corner I'm going to make my fan. Now here's the second corner. Don't forget to chain one here after you make your last double crochet there. Now we're going to continue in the same way here for the back side. I'm going to start you off here. So chain one, skip this first double crochet for the back side, and into the second double crochet here make a double crochet, chain one, skip one double crochet, and into the next double crochet, chain one. This is how you're going to continue here until you come to the third corner, where you're going to do exactly the same thing that I just did here into these last 2 corners. So continue, finish this second row, and I will meet you here at the end to show you what we need to do next. I'm here at the end of this second row. This is where we did double crochet separated by 1 chain. Now here at the end I have my last double crochet, so here on top make a double crochet, and this is how I finish this second row. Now whenever we do this row of chains and double crochets, we always start with 2 double crochets just like we did here, and we always finish with 2 double crochets. Now for the third row, chain 2 and turn. In this row what we're going to do is on top of each one of the double crochets we're going to make double crochets, and inside each one of the chain one spaces. So let me show you. Beginning on top of the first double crochet here, make a double crochet, on top of the next a double crochet, inside the chain one space a double crochet. This is how I'm going to continue until I come to the first corner. Now I have my first corner, I have the fan here into these 2 double crochets. Same thing, make a double crochet. Now inside the chain one space here we're going to make a fan. So make 2 double crochets, chain one, 2 double crochets. Now on top of the next 2 double crochets make a double crochet, and then just continue and do the same thing into the chain one space, make a double crochet, and on top of the double crochets a double crochet. That's how you're going to continue for the rest of this third row. Remember to do exactly the same thing on each corner, which is just make a fan inside the chain one space. So continue like this, and I'll meet you at the end of this third row. I'm here at the end of this third row. I have a total of 99 double crochets. From here on, these are the 2 rows that we're going to repeat, the second and the third row. So now for the fourth row, I need to repeat the second row, which is where we did the double crochets separated by chains. So here, chain 2, turn. Now in this row, remember I mentioned that we always start with 2 double crochets and we always end with 2 double crochets. So beginning on top of the first double crochet, make a double crochet. On top of the next one, make a double crochet. Now chain 1, skip 1 double crochet and into the next, make a double crochet, chain 1, skip 1 and into the next, double crochet, chain 1, skip 1 and into the next, double crochet, chain 1, skip 1 and into the next, double crochet, chain 1, skip 1 and into the next, double crochet, chain 1. Now I'm going to skip this next double crochet, and inside this chain 1 space of this first corner, I'm going to make a fan. This is how you're going to work each one of the corners. You're just going to make a fan. Now to continue and work this side, chain 1, skip this next double crochet and into the next, make a double crochet, chain 1, skip 1 and into the next, double crochet, chain 1, and so on. You're going to continue until you come to the second corner where you're going to do exactly the same thing, and then do the same thing in the remaining corners. Continue, finish this row, and I'll meet you at the end of this fourth row to show you once again how to start the next row, since you're going to finish the yoke on your own. I'm here at the end of this fourth row. Now here at the end, I have my last double crochet. On top of this last double crochet, make a double crochet. And this is how I finished this fourth row. In this fourth row, you should have a total of 65 double crochets. Now remember that when you do this row where we do double crochets separated by chains, you always start this row by making 2 double crochets like this. And then at the end, you also finish with 2 double crochets. Now for the fifth row, I'm going to repeat the same thing I did in this third row, which is just make double crochets. So here, chain 2, turn. Now beginning on top of the first double crochet, make a double crochet, and on top of each one of the double crochets, also into the chain 1 spaces. I'm going to do this until I come to the first corner. Okay, so here's my first corner. Here's the chain 1 space. Here I'm going to make a fan. So 2 double crochets, chain 1, 2 double crochets. This is how you're going to work each one of the corners, and then you're just going to continue and make 1 double crochet on top of each one of the double crochets and into the chain 1 space. Now continue and finish this fifth row, and then you're going to repeat the row of double crochets separated by chains, and then continue in that way until we finish making the yoke. I'm not exactly sure how many rows I'm going to do from here on, but continue watching. I will let you know exactly how many rows I'm going to do, and also I'm going to give you the number of stitches that you should have at the end of every row from here on, including this fifth row. So continue watching before you continue so that you can have that information. So let's finish making the yoke, and then I'll go ahead and meet you at the end of that last row. Okay, I finished making the yoke. I did a total of 7 rows. My last row here is the row of double crochets, and I have a total of 163 double crochets at the end of this row. Now, the last row that we did together was row 5. So let's see, that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this row here. So at the end of the 5th row, you should have had 131 double crochets. At the end of the 6th row, 81 double crochets, and here at the end of the 7th row, like I said, I have 163 double crochets. Now it's measuring this part here right across. It's measuring about 13 centimeters, which is about 5.25 inches. And this part here is measuring about 30 centimeters, which is about 11.75 inches. Now, what we're going to do in the next row is we're going to divide the sleeves. So here we're going to start counting again. So this is going to be row 1. So for this first row, chain 2 and turn. Now I'm going to continue with the same pattern here. So beginning here on top of this first double crochet, I'm going to make a double crochet. On top of the next, a double crochet. Now chain 1, skip 1, and into the next, a double crochet. Chain 1, skip 1, and into the next, double crochet, chain 1. This is how I'm going to continue until I come to the first corner. Here's the first corner. Don't forget to chain 1. Here's the first corner. Inside this corner, you're going to make a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. Now for this side, let's see, you should have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13 double crochets. Now to separate the sleeves, chain 1, skip these next 39 double crochets, which are for the sleeve, and inside this second corner, do the same thing we did on the first one. Make a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, skip 1 double crochet and into the next, make a double crochet, chain 1, skip 1 double crochet and into the next, double crochet, chain 1. Now just continue and finish the back side, and I'll meet you right here. This is the third corner to show you how we're going to divide the second sleeve. I finished making these double crochets for the back side. Now here to divide, I'm going to make a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet inside this third corner. Now for the back side, you should have a total of 25 double crochets separated by 1 chain. Now to divide the second sleeve, chain 1, skip 39 double crochets, and into the fourth corner right here, make a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, and then skip 1 double crochet and into the next, double crochet, chain 1, skip 1 and into the next, double crochet, chain 1, and so on. Continue and finish this first row. I'll meet you at the end. I'm here at the end of this first row. This is where we divided the sleeves. Now here in this row that we just did, you should have a total of 51 double crochets. We have, for each one of the front panels, we have 13 and 13 double crochets, and then for the back side we have 25. So that's a total of 51 double crochets separated by 1 chain. Now before we continue, I want you to put a stitch marker right here on the back side. If we count the double crochets, it's, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So put a stitch marker here into this 13th double crochet. We need to make an adjustment here, and that's where we're going to make it. So before you continue, make sure you put that stitch marker right there. It's going to be easier when we do this next row. So for the second row, I'm not going to continue with this color. I can either cut my yarn here or just leave it. I think I'm going to leave it for now. So here, I'm going to use this pink yarn now. I'm going to undo this last double crochet that I did here at the end. I'm not going to close it with the same color, but I'm just going to grab a loop instead in pink, so like this, and close that double crochet. Now here, chain 1 and turn. On top of this last double crochet here, make a single crochet. Now into this first chain 1 space right here, make 4 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4. Into the next chain 1 space, make a single crochet. This is what we're going to repeat from here on. So into the next space, make 4 double crochets. Here we're making these shells, which will consist of 4 double crochets. So here's the second shell. Into the next space, make a single crochet. I'm going to continue like this until I come to right under the sleeve, and I'm going to show you what we're going to do there. Single crochet, and into this last chain one space of this front panel, make 4 double crochets. Now for this front panel we have 6 shells. Now into this chain one space here, make a single crochet. Now into the first chain one space for the back side, make 4 double crochets. And into the next chain one space, make a single crochet. I'm going to continue with this same sequence until I come to about here, this chain one space. Now up to here I should have 6 shells. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now I'm going to skip this next chain one space, and on top of the double crochet that we marked before we started, so this one here, make a single crochet, skip this next chain one space, and into this next one make a shell. This is the adjustment that we're going to make so that here for the back side we finish with 12 shells. If I were to continue with the same sequence and not do this, I would end with a single crochet here, and I don't want that. I want to make sure to finish with a fan so that the back side and the front panels all match. So I'm going to now continue like this. Here's my last chain one space for the back side. I'm going to make my 4 double crochets here. So this part here now is perfect. We should have 12 shells. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 shells for the back side. Now into this chain one space here under the sleeve, make a single crochet, and into the first chain one space for this next front panel, make 4 double crochets. Now continue with this same sequence to the end of this second row. I'll meet you here at the end. I'm here at the end of this second row. Here at the end to finish, I'm going to make a single crochet on top of the last double crochet. And here's the second row. Now for this second row, you should have a total of 24 shells. Now for each one of the front panels, we have 6 shells, and for the back side, we have 12 shells. So that's a total of 24 shells. Now for the third row, chain 3 and turn. Now in this row, this is what we're going to do. We have the first shell, we have 4 double crochets. Into the first 2 double crochets here, make a front post double crochet, chain 1, and into the last 2, same thing, front post double crochet. Again, we have the second shell. Into the first 2 double crochets, make a front post double crochet, chain 1, and into the last 2, same thing, front post double crochets. This is how you're going to continue for the third row. Continue, and I'll meet you at the end. I'm here at the end of this third row. This is where we did front post double crochets. Now to finish here, we're going to make a double crochet on top of this last single crochet. And this is how I finished this third row. Now I went ahead and cut my yarn here, this gray yarn. I decided to just continue with the pink yarn. So now for the fourth row, chain 1 and turn, beginning on top of this double crochet here, make a single crochet. Now inside each one of the shells, we're going to make 4 double crochets again. Now chain 1, and in the middle of the 2 shells right here, right in between, make a single crochet, chain 1, and then again inside the next shell, make 4 double crochets. This is all I'm going to do for this fourth row. 4 double crochets, chain 1 between the shells, make a single crochet, chain 1, and then again 4 double crochets. Continue like this to the end of this fourth row, and I'll meet you there. I'm here at the end of this fourth row. To finish this row, don't chain here at the end, just go into the second chain here at the end and make a single crochet. And this is how I finished this fourth row. Now for the fifth row, chain 3 and turn. Now in this row, what we're going to do is we have the first shell into the first 2 double crochets, make 2 front post double crochets, chain 1, and then 2 front post double crochets. Again, we have the second shell, make 2 front post double crochets, chain 1, and then 2 front post double crochets. This is how I'm going to continue for this fifth row. So continue and I'll meet you at the end. I'm here at the end of this fifth row. To finish this row, just go on top of the single crochet and make a double crochet. Now from here on, these are the 2 rows that you're going to repeat. This row front post double crochets and then the row of shells. So for row 6, I need to make the row of shells. So what you're going to do is just chain 1 and turn, beginning on top of the first double crochet here, make a single crochet, and then inside each one of the shells here into the chain 1 space, you're just going to make 4 double crochets. Now chain 1 in the middle of the 2 shells, right in between here, make a single crochet, chain 1, and then again make a shell. Chain 1 in the middle of the 2 shells, make a single crochet, chain 1, and then again inside the next chain 1 space, make 4 double crochets. That's how you're going to continue for the rest of this 6th row. Here at the end, to finish this row, you're just going to make a single crochet here into the second chain, then you're going to chain 3 and then start again this row of front post double crochets. That's how you're going to continue for the rest. I'm not sure how many rows I'm going to do here, but continue watching. I'll let you know exactly how many rows I'm going to do, so I'll meet you at the end of that row. Okay, I finished making this part. I have a total of 20 pattern rows. So from here up to the last row, there's 20 rows. My last row is the row of front post double crochets. Now here at the end, I just did my last double crochet and cut my yarn, passed my yarn through that last loop. So now to continue, I'm going to change color here to this gray, and I'm going to work the bottom of the sweater. I'm going to count rows again. This here is going to be the first row, so on top of the last double crochet, grab a loop, bring it through the front, chain 1 and turn. Now beginning on top of this double crochet, which is this one here, I'm going to make a half double crochet. Now here we're going to alternate between front post and back post half double crochet. So to do this, make a front post half double crochet, then a back post half double crochet, front post half double crochet, and back post half double crochet. The chain 1 space here I'm going to skip. We're not going to do anything, and really this last row you could have done it without the chain space. You could have just done the 4 front post double crochets here on this side, but I didn't. So I'm just going to skip that chain 1 space. Now the next one, make a front post half double crochet. The next one, back post half double crochet, front post half double crochet, back post half double crochet, and so on. This is all I'm going to do for this first row, so continue and I'll meet you at the end. I'm here at the end of this first row. This is where we've done front post and back post half double crochets. Now here at the end, into the second chain, make a half double crochet. Now for the second row, chain 1 and turn. On top of this first half double crochet, make a half double crochet right on top, and then we have a front post half double crochet. So make a front post half double crochet, then back post half double crochet, front post half double crochet, and so on. This is how you're going to continue for this second row. Once you get here to the end, right here, on top of this last half double crochet, make a half double crochet, chain 1 and turn, and then repeat the same thing as I did here. I'm not sure how many rows I'm going to do here. I think maybe 3 or 4, but continue watching. I'll let you know exactly how many rows I'm going to do, so I'll meet you at the end of that row. Okay, I finished making this bottom part. I did a total of 5 rows. Now if you want to make this part here wider, you can just continue and make more rows. I'm just going to leave it like this. Now we're going to continue along this front panel and make single crochet. So don't cut your yarn here, just chain 1. And here at the end, I did a half double crochet on top of this last one. So into this space here, make a single crochet. Then into the next row, make a single crochet. That's 2. Into the next row, another one, that's 3. Into the next row, 4. And then into the last row here of this part, another one. So that's 5 single crochets because we have 5 rows of front post and back post half double crochets. Now we have this first row here in this pink color, so here make 2 single crochets, and then we have this single crochet, so make a single crochet. Then into this next space, make 2 single crochets, then 1, then 2, then 1, and then 2, and so on. So 2, 1, 2, 1 for this part here in pink. Once you get here to the first row in gray, here you're going to do 1 and then 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, and then we'll finish up here. Continue and I'll meet you here at the top to show you what we need to do next. Okay, I'm here at the top. Up to here I have 47 single crochets. Now I'm going to make one more, and I'm going to make it here into this row of chains. So make a single crochet there. So now I have 48 single crochets. Now if you're off by 1 or 2 stitches, it's okay. Just make sure that on the other side you do exactly the same number of stitches as you did here on this side. Now for the second row, chain 1 and turn. Now we're going to work our way down, and what I'm going to do here is I'm going to make front post and back post half double crochets. If you have a hard time making front post and back post half double crochets, then you can just do the second and the third row in just single crochets. So here to begin, on top of the first single crochet, make a half double crochet on top. Into the next single crochet, make a back post half double crochet. Into the next front post half double crochet, into the next back post half double crochet, and so on. This is all I'm going to do for this second row. Just alternate between a front post and a back post half double crochet for this front panel. Continue and I'll meet you at the end to show you what we need to do next. I'm here at the end of this second row. Here at the end, on top of this last single crochet, make a half double crochet right on top. Now chain 1 and turn. For the third row, we're going to do exactly the same thing. Beginning on top of this last half double crochet that I did, make a half double crochet, and then the next stitch here is a back post half double crochet. I'm going to make a back post half double crochet. Next one is a front post half double crochet, next one back post, and so on. Continue like this all the way to the top, and I'll meet you there to show you what we need to do next. I'm here at the end of the third row. Now here at the end, I have my last half double crochet. So now to finish, I'm just going to make a slip stitch into this last half double crochet. Now I'm going to continue along the neckline and do the same thing. I'm going to chain one here, and on top of the next row here, where we have this chain, make a half double crochet. Half double crochet into the next row, and then half double crochet into this first chain here that we have. So that's what it should look like. There's no right or wrong way of doing this. Just make sure that this part here is nice and round. That's how I'm going to do mine. Now I have the first double crochet here for the neckline. I'm going to make a front post half double crochet. The next one, back post half double crochet. Next one, front post half double crochet. Next one, back post. This is how I'm going to continue. Just alternate between front post and back post half double crochets all the way to the other side. I will meet you there to show you what we need to do next. Okay, I finished making these front post and back post half double crochets around the neckline. Now what I'm going to do here at the end is into this last double crochet here at the end, I'm going to make a half double crochet. Now we're going to continue our way down and make single crochets. I'm going to make sure to have 48 single crochets here for this front panel, which is the same number of single crochets that I did on the other side. Now to continue along this front panel here, here's my last half double crochet. I'm going to insert my hook back again in there and make a single crochet. Now into the next row, make a single crochet, then into the next 2 single crochets, 1, 2, 1, 2, and so on till you come here to the bottom. Make sure that when you do this side, you have the same number of single crochets as you did on the other side. So I'll meet you here at the end. I'm here at the end of this first row for this second front panel. This is where I've done single crochets, and I have a total of 48 single crochets. Now for the second row, chain 1 and turn. Here we're going to do 2 rows of front post and back post half double crochets. So here, beginning on top of this first single crochet, make a half double crochet right on top. Now into the next single crochet, work a front post half double crochet, then back post half double crochet, front post half double crochet, and so on. Continue like this to the top. Once you get here, make your last half double crochet right here, chain 1, turn, and then repeat the same thing. Continue, finish this side, and then I'll come back and show you how we're going to work the sleeves. Okay, I finished making the third row here for this other side. Here at the end, I just did my last half double crochet at the end, cut my yarn and passed my yarn through that last loop, and this part here is all done. Now, as you notice, I already went ahead and added my buttons. These buttons here are, let's see, these are about 15 millimeters, and what I do with my buttons is I just tie them here to the back. I just need to hide this end here, and my buttons are nice and secured. I do not like sewing buttons because I think they take forever, so I prefer to just tie them and then hide the ends on the inside. So this is what it looks like. Now the buttonholes are the spaces in between the rows, which is what I have done here. You can use buttons that are 12, 13, 14, or 15 millimeters. These here, like I said, are 15 millimeters, and they go through perfectly without any issues. So you could do the same thing. See, right there. Now what we're going to do next is we're going to do one of the sleeves. I already went ahead and did this side. You're going to do it exactly in the same way. Once we finish that side, you're going to do it exactly in the same way. Also, if you want to leave this as a nice little vest, you can. Here I would probably just do a row like we did here on the neckline of front post and back post half double crochets, and you also have a nice little vest. But we're going to add sleeves here to make this into a nice little cardigan sweater. So to do this, we're going to go here on this side. So to do this, I'm going to use the same hook, this 5mm hook, and right here, right under the sleeve, we have this single crochet. We're going to go to the left of this single crochet, insert your hook there, grab a loop, and chain 2. 1, 2. Now into this same space here, make a double crochet. Now what we're going to do is, if I go directly to this first double crochet that's part of the sleeve, I'm going to be left with a gap here, and I don't want that. So to close this gap, I'm going to yarn over, insert my hook right here into this space, grab a loop, take 2 loops off, yarn over, then go on top of the first double crochet for the sleeve, grab a loop, take 2 loops off, 3 loops on the hook, close. This stitch here is going to count as 1 double crochet. Now into the next 4 double crochets, I'm going to do 2 double crochet decrease. So yarn over, insert your hook, grab a loop, take 2 loops off, yarn over, insert your hook on top of the next double crochet, take 2 loops off, 3 loops on the hook, close. Again, 1 more double crochet decrease into the next 2 double crochets, 3 loops, close. Now here I have 4 double crochets. We have the first one that I did, then I did this decrease, then the next 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. These here count as 1 double crochet. Now we're going to continue all around the sleeve, just making double crochets until we come to the last 5 double crochets here on this side. So continue, and I'll meet you right about here to show you how we're going to finish this first row. I'm here at this other side of the sleeve. This is the first row. Now up to here I have a total of 33 double crochets. I have 5 double crochets still here remaining. So what we're going to do into the next 4 double crochets is a double crochet decrease. So yarn over, insert your hook, grab a loop, take 2 loops off, yarn over, take 2 loops off, 3 loops, close. Here's the first double crochet decrease. Again, yarn over, grab a loop, take 2 loops off, yarn over, take 2 loops off, 3 loops, close. Here's the second double crochet decrease. Now I'm going to make 1 more. Here's the last double crochet that's part of the sleeve still. So yarn over, insert your hook, grab a loop, take 2 loops off, yarn over, then insert your hook into this space where we have this double crochet, take 2 loops, 3 loops, close. Now here I have my 3 double crochet decreases, which is the same thing I did here on this side. We have 1, 2, 3. So up to here I told you I had 33, so that's 34, 35, 36. I need to make 1 more double crochet so that I finish with 37, and the last double crochet I'm going to do it right here into this space right next to the single crochet. So right there, make a double crochet. So now I have 37 double crochets for this first row. To finish, go on top of the first double crochet, not the chains but the double crochet right on top, and join with a slip stitch. And this is how you're going to finish every row from here on, and you're always going to have 37 double crochets. I'm not going to make any more reductions or anything. I'm going to continue with this same number of double crochets until I have a total of 21 rows. Now if you feel like you need to make more reductions to make the sleeve a little bit more snug around the arm, then by all means you can go ahead and make more reductions here at the beginning, and then on the other side as well. I'm not going to do it because I've already tried this on my niece and it fits perfect on her. Now for the second row and all the rows to follow, chain 2, and then on top of this first double crochet, which is the same double crochet where I made my slip stitch, make a double crochet. This is how you're going to begin each row from here on. Then all you're going to do is just make 1 double crochet on top of each one of the double crochets all around the sleeve. And like I said, at the end of every row you're going to have 37 double crochets, and that's all. So continue, finish this row. To finish this row you're going to go on top of the first double crochet. Here's the first double crochet, so right on top you're going to join with a slip stitch, chain 2, and then make your first double crochet into this same stitch, and then continue all around making double crochets. Again, at the end of every row from here on, you're going to have 37 double crochets, and we're going to do this for a total of 21 rows. After we finish those 21 rows, I'm going to meet you back to show you how we're going to do the cuff. So continue like this, finish the sleeve, and then I'll come back and show you what we need to do next. Okay, I finished making the sleeve. I did a total of 21 rows. Now, if you want to make the sleeve shorter, you can. This here, the sweater is for about 4 to 6 years old. So if you're making it for a 4-year-old, the sleeve might be too long. You can just do 19 rows instead of 21, or you can just continue and do exactly the same thing. And then if it's too long, you just fold it here, and that should also be okay. So here, to continue, we're going to make the cuff. So I'm going to use this 4.5mm crochet hook. If you're using any other hook size to make this smaller or bigger, just go down half a hook size. So here, and it's also optional. If you want to continue with the same hook, the 5mm hook, you can. I just want this part to be a bit more snug around the wrist, and that's why I'm using this 4.5mm hook. So here, to do this part, I'm going to chain 1. Now we have the first double crochet here, make a front post half double crochet, then the next one a back post half double crochet, next one front post half double crochet, and so on. This is all I'm going to do here, just alternate between a front post and a back post half double crochet. Now we're going to do this for a total of 4 rows. So when you finish this row, you're just going to go right here on top of the first half double crochet, chain 1, and then repeat the same thing for a total of 4 rows. You're going to work front post, back post, front post, back post, half double crochets. So continue, finish this part, and then I'll come back and show you the finished sweater. Okay, I finished making the cuff here at the end. I just joined to the beginning with a slip stitch, cut my yarn, and passed my yarn through that last loop. This part here is done, so the sleeve is all done. Now you're going to do exactly the same thing I did here on this side. You're going to do it here on this other side. It's done exactly in the same way. So this little sweater is all done. This is what it looks like. Here's the yoke. This is the bottom. I already told you these buttons are 15mm. And here's the back side. There it is. Now the buttonholes, remember I said that it's the spaces in between the rows that you can use as buttonholes. So it's all done. Now let me give you the finished measurements. From the top of the neckline here to the end of the sleeve, this here is measuring about 43 centimeters, which is about 17 inches. From under the sleeve to the end of the sleeve, it's measuring about 30.5 centimeters, which is about 12 inches. Now I forgot to measure the width here of the sleeve. It's about 5 inches, which is about 13 centimeters. Now from the top of the neckline down to the end of this last row here, it's measuring about 44 centimeters, which is about 17.25 inches. And the waist, just the top, it's measuring about 36 centimeters, which is about 14.25 inches. So based on these measurements, this little cardigan, sweater, coat, or jacket is for little girls between 4 and 6 years old. Now I made this little jacket for my little niece. She's 5. It's perfect for her. It's not too loose and it's not too tight. There's enough room there so that it can fit up to 6 years old. And certainly if you make it for 4 years old, it's going to be a little bit big, but you can always adjust here or just fold the sleeve. Now you can also make it smaller or bigger. I'd say from 1 to 2 years old and up to 10 to 12 years old. Down here in the information box, I'm going to leave some information on how you can make it smaller or bigger, so be sure to check that out. Okay, so this was today's tutorial. I hope you like it. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your support always. Until next time.